40.1% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency in cash. And if you think a massive household income makes you immune to that terrifying statistic, you are in for a brutal reality check. Welcome to the paradox of high earner poverty. On paper, you are wealthy. Yet at the end of the month, your savings account looks exactly the same as it did a year ago. You are not poor, but you are literally one unexpected crisis away from total financial panic. New data reveals that a staggering percentage of high earners are secretly drowning in a silent trap that keeps them broke. To understand why this is happening, let's scrap the outdated stereotype of the single Wall Street banker and look at the modern engine of the economy, the dual-income professional household. Let's say you and your partner pull down a combined $250,000 a year. You have the fully vested stock options, the remote work flexibility, and the premium suburban lifestyle that signals absolute, undeniable success. But behind closed doors, let's do the actual math on that $250,000 in a high-tax state like California or New York. You feel rich on paper, but after federal taxes, state taxes, family health insurance premiums, and standard payroll deductions, you are taking home maybe $12,500 a month. Then comes the $5,000 mortgage on the overpriced home, the massive daycare bill, the 2 premium electric vehicle payments, the organic grocery deliveries, the weekend decompression trips, and the lingering student loans. By the time the final week of the month rolls around, your joint checking account is gasping for air. You are not building wealth. You are broke. The irony is brutal. You earn more money than you ever have in your entire life, but your necessity spending has ballooned to consume over 95% of your income. You are running on a gold-plated financial treadmill, and every time you get a raise, someone just turns up the speed. To understand why this is happening right now, you have to look at the systemic squeeze of the modern economy. This isn't just bad luck. The system is fundamentally designed to extract your wealth. First, inflation has permanently reset the baseline of survival. Cumulative grocery and utility inflation has spiked significantly, meaning the absolute bare minimum cost just to keep your household running takes a massive bite out of that massive salary before you even start paying for the lifestyle you think you deserve. Meanwhile, economists love to talk about the K-shaped economy. That sounds complicated, but simply put, it means the economy is splitting violently in 2 completely opposite directions. The upper arm of the K represents those who own assets and are watching their wealth skyrocket. The lower arm represents everyone else, whose income is being aggressively harvested by corporations to pad their quarterly earnings. There is no middle ground anymore. When Wall Street analysts celebrate strong consumer spending, they are literally just celebrating your inability to keep your own money. But you cannot just blame systemic inflation, because while the system sets the trap, your psychology is what causes you to step in it. For high earners, this isn't just a math error. It is about social signaling and status anxiety. There are 6 specific hidden habits that systematically drain your wealth before it is even earned. These are the traps that turn massive incomes into absolutely zero net worth. Habit number 1, lifestyle inflation, or the career tax. Let's look at how this sneaks up on you. 5 years ago, your combined income was $150,000. You lived in a modest townhome and took simple road trips. Then you both got promoted, hitting that $250,000 mark. Logically, that massive income jump should be pure wealth generation. But almost instantly, you upgraded to the forever home in the premium school district, traded the reliable sedans for luxury SUVs, and started booking curated international vacations. Your before and after budgets look wildly different, but your savings rate is exactly the same: 0. Your expenses expanded to fill the available income, exactly like a gas expanding to fill its container. The mathematical gap between what you earn and what you spend is the only source of wealth creation. Without that gap, you're just a highly paid conduit moving money from your employer straight to luxury brands. Habit number 2, the premium trap. High earners often fall for the illusion that a higher price tag automatically equals higher value. You stop price shopping. You start blindly paying premiums because your time feels too valuable to argue over $100. But worse, this premium trap disguises status spending as a mandatory investment. The ultra-expensive private preschool isn't vanity, you tell yourself, it's an educational investment. The boutique wellness retreat isn't ego, it's a mental health necessity. Let's be brutally honest. You are paying massive markups purely to signal to other people that you belong in a specific tax bracket. Habit number 3, optimization neglect. This is the convenience tax levied exclusively on the time poor. You tell yourself your time is worth hundreds of dollars an hour, so you outsource your entire existence. You pay for daily meal deliveries, specialized subscription boxes, premium lawn care, and app workers to run your errands. You are bleeding out from $1,030 cuts. Financial advisors call this micro-leakage. That sounds complicated, but simply put, it means you are making so many tiny, frictionless purchases that you are slowly bankrupting yourself through absolute convenience. And here is the brutal truth. You aren't using that saved hour to build a side business or study investments. You are using that saved hour to recover on your couch because your demanding career has left you completely burnt out. Habit number 4, the debt is leverage fallacy. There's a bizarre phenomenon where high-income households think budgeting is a middle-class activity. Instead of tracking dollars, you rely on the siren song of the corporate world, the future income excuse. You tell yourself, we will really start saving once those restricted stock units vest next year. We will pay off these high-interest credit cards when the annual bonus hits. You are effectively borrowing against a future that is not guaranteed. When you blindly assume your income will always go up, you justify burying yourself in liabilities today. Habit number 5, the emergency fund myth. High earners genuinely believe their massive credit limits or their investment portfolios are their emergency funds. You assume your stock portfolio can save you if things go south in the economy, but here's the cold, hard reality. You cannot buy groceries with home equity. And if the market crashes, which usually happens exactly when corporate layoffs peak, forcing you to sell your investments at a massive loss just to fix a broken HVAC system, you are permanently destroying your long-term wealth. If you do not have 3 to 6 months of liquid, accessible cash sitting in a high-yield savings account, you do not have an emergency fund. You have a mirage. Habit number 6, comparison-driven spending. A massive chunk of high-income spending is purely about emotional regulation and identity maintenance. When you work a high-pressure job, you accumulate intense psychological strain. Spending money becomes your release valve. You book the $10,000 experiential family vacation or buy the status symbol smartwatch because you feel like you deserve a reward for your suffering. But it is a massive, incredibly expensive game of neighborhood pretend. You are buying things you don't even really care about, just to keep pace with peers who are secretly drowning in debt just like you. But here is the data-backed reality check. If you are feeling defensive right now, it is completely possible to beat this trap and step off the treadmill. The fact that nearly a third of high earners are successfully building cash reserves and buying back their financial independence in this exact same economy proves that it comes down to intentional, ruthless choices. First, the 95% test. If your non-negotiable expenses are consuming 95% of your take-home pay, you are in a state of financial emergency. You need structural lifestyle changes, not just skipping a coffee. Second, the lifestyle lock. Make a hard, non-negotiable contract with yourself to freeze your current lifestyle for the next 3 years. When your income goes up, your expenses do not move a single inch. Third, automated wealth. Move the money before your brain even registers that you have it. If it hits your primary checking account, you will absolutely find a way to spend it. Fourth, the $1,000 rule. Build a $1,000 cash buffer today. This stops the vicious cycle of paying 24% interest on a credit card just to survive a surprise medical bill or a pothole. Fifth and finally, kill the future income fallacy. You need to fundamentally shift your entire identity. Stop taking pride in the sentence, "I make a lot of money." Start taking pride in the sentence, "I keep a lot of money." Because at the end of the day, building genuine wealth isn't about the gross income printed on your W-2. It is about actively defending your income from a culture that is aggressively engineered to extract it from you. You worked entirely too hard to get to this tax bracket just to be stressed out over a surprise vet bill. You sacrificed your free time, pulled the late nights, navigated the corporate politics, and earned that incredible income. You deserve actual, breathing freedom, not just a higher class of financial anxiety. True financial independence means your money buys you options, not just better-looking golden handcuffs. You have the power to write a radically different ending to this story. Your challenge for this week is not just to cancel some random cheap streaming subscription. That is not nearly enough for someone in your position. Your challenge is to sit down and conduct a brutal audit of your last 90 days of spending. Find the exact massive dollar amount tied directly to status anxiety, the boutique wellness membership you never actually use, the luxury car lease eating your paycheck, the overpriced dinners meant to impress people you don't even like. Cut the cord on it today. Then, take that exact dollar amount and put it on an automatic monthly transfer into a high-yield savings account. Break the illusion. Confront the math. Start making your income work for your future instead of someone else's quarterly earnings. If this made you wildly uncomfortable because you recognized yourself in these habits, good. That discomfort is the exact feeling of the matrix breaking. It is the very first step toward actual, undeniable freedom.